Good morning, all. I hope you slept well. Oh, I slept. Whew. I had some powerful dreams. I woke up at 4:44. I did indeed. You know, it came to me in my dreams. After the last, 48, 72 hours, it really is important to recognize that everything a part of your journey, your life, is a part of your destined plan. It really is. I had an epiphany last night when I was going through some different emotions and thoughts where really your earthly parents, are really just your earthly parents. Like, God destines us to be born into a family, and that is your destined plan, and all the walks of your family, the good, the bad, and the ugly, are all a part of your plan. And it's all a part of it. It's all a part of your journey and your purpose for you to become destined to whoever you're supposed to become through all the trials and tribulations of your family and your family dynamics. It's all a part of it. It really is. Take away with what resonates for entertainment purposes only. This is my beliefs, my perceptions, I tell my son all the time, God blessed me and chose me to be his mother. And I wear that with such pride and honor, because it's the truth, right? In more ways than one, my son has saved my life times a trillion. And my son is so gifted. He is so gifted. I know he is. And he is a freaking warrior, man. He is. We both are. In more ways than one. Everybody's gifted and a warrior, It's just a matter of how you wear it. It's how you wear it. You can't let the turmoil turn your heart into dark. And then just go into the world and pour out negativity, it's mind-boggling to me just how the world is put together. It really is. But God knew it. That's why God has, star seeds, has chosen ones, has, however you want to spin it, people correlated all around the world that are waking up. I said last night, I take accountability, and it was such an moment. It really was, for myself. Everything that I have done in my 40 years of being on this earth has landed me to where I'm at right now. And I own that. You know what I mean? Every single thing, every single walk, whether it's family, it's jobs, it's friends, because I've made the choices I've made in reference to the heart that I carry, it's just landed me to where I'm at. But see, God knew that. And that's why I'm walking through the different healing ventures through it all. We aren't designed to be people pleasers. We aren't designed to do things we don't want to do. We aren't designed to go along with narratives and, whatever the case may be, conditioning, social conditioning. That's not what we're designed for, yet that's what we do. That's what's instilled. Otherwise you're going to get canceled. Otherwise you're going to get targeted. Otherwise you're going to go through HELL on earth. For every good, there's evil. I had a conversation with Tay last night, and it was really quite empowering. It's so hard for me. I struggle with it because of how my mind operates. I don't focus on the evil. It's so hard for me to imagine there being people in this world that carry such an evilish ways of their disposition, of their choices, of their decisions, whether they're in secret societies, government officials, whatever. I struggle with it so bad, but the reality is a reality for all good there is evil, and that's how it was in the Bible, and it's one of those things you just kind of recognize and you open your mind to it, but you also recognize that everything in your reality you have control over. I have control over how I respond and how I let it affect me. I'm limited on my control as for like my living arrangements, my monetary arrangements, my censorship, all this stuff. I have very limited control. The only control I have of in this current walk in my life is my healing, my response, how I receive things, and what I pour out into this world. That is what I have control over. Those 4 things. Aside from that, I have very limited control. And it really goes to show you just the same for everybody, really. It's really the same for everybody, even if you're in a silent Truman Show or not. My mom said to me, this one threw me, you say that you notice everybody looking at you when you go out in public and this and that. Yeah, I do. I do indeed. Would you think you're all that? No, I don't think I'm all that by any means. I honestly think the complete opposite. I ask myself why. I ask myself why a lot of the times. Like, why are people so threatened by me? Why am I being so heavily blocked and stalked and harassed, unlawfully? I ask myself that a lot. Why? I don't believe I'm above anybody by any means. I mean, I live at my parents' house. I can't seem to get on my own 2 feet. I don't know why people would be so threatened by me, quite frankly. It's kind of mind-boggling if you think about it. But here we are. It is what it is. It's one of those things. The world has been designed to think XYZ. And when you have particular narratives, you have particular schemes, you have particular entities that have an abundant amount of control in the world, in the mechanisms of the world, in the systematic ways, they can control the minds of other people in different ways, unless you take your power back, unless you take your mind back. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where I'm at, Everything in my past and everybody entangled in it was all a part of the destined plan. I wholeheartedly, in my heart of hearts, believe that God has a plan for us all. He has a plan for us all, even in the darks, even in the pits. It's all planned. It's all predestined. It's just a matter of what you make of it and what you gain from it and the wisdom you take from it and the humility and the humbleness. Humility and humbleness is what I run on, And there's just lack thereof everywhere, every facet. I see how people go out of their way to tear me down and tear other people down just because of things they're wrestling inside themselves and their souls because of choices they made. That's all it boils down to. That's all it boils down to. When people decide to tear other people down and go against someone, it's all because of things that they're wrestling inside themselves and choices they made. There's no other way. There's nothing else that it could be. That's just facting, and nobody can tell me otherwise. And because I know that to be true, 100%, I walk in the knowing of that. And so you got to get to a place in your life where you know things to be true, whether it's in front of you, like paper or not, because you got facts in front of you, and that still don't matter. The justice system still don't care about that, even though you got nothing but facting and you got paper proof. They don't even look at that. So what do you have control over? You have control of your life, how you handle circumstances, and how you heal from them, man. I'm still healing and walking this thing out too. The best of my abilities. I'm not perfect by any means. Not by any means. And I don't think I'm above nobody. So if anybody thinks I feel that way, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. And shame on you. You know I don't feel that way. You absolutely know that. So quit saying it. Get a grip.